Good morning. Morning, Apothecary. I suppose we're watching penny stocks again today. Morning, Momentum Trader. Morning, Harris. So GXAI is our top leading gainer. Penny stock, 10 million share float. Made a move after hours. Is below the 200 moving average and is in a window above high of day. Morning, Island. So I suppose I should give penny stocks a shot considering how much those two moved yesterday. If they're on the front side of the move, that is. Nothing below $1 though will be my cutoff. Morning, Fisk. Morning, Drews. Troy. So we hit 500 subs the other day, which apparently means I can start earning on YouTube as soon as I set it up. I think I was just short of the watch hours though. That's great. Happened very quickly. It was just a month ago that I was at 18 subs. But we're gonna keep on keeping on. But I'll thank everyone for tuning in. FGI popping through this pivot. It's not quite 7 a.m. yet. One's just earnings results. Morning, Kingman. It looks like BTTC is dropping below VWAP. It's been a while since I've sat down and not seen something up at least 100% on the scanners, or at least like 80%. GXAI popping a little bit. High was 158, right? So I'm wondering if this is going to do the same thing the other stock did the other day, where it moves a little bit before 7 a.m. XAI being our top leading gainer. It doesn't have very big ranges, though. It's got a 10.5 million share float, and it's cheaper. Keep my hand on the buy button for this one to see if maybe there is a 7 a.m. pop. See if it holds 150. Like it's failing to hold for now. I'm having to mute myself to cough. Instead, we have HGI, or FGI. It's on very light volume right now. I'm a little bit worried about its volume. Very light. Morning, Lauren. Comes back up to the double top. But we have increasing selling volume on the 10-second. And volume feels still pretty light on it compared to stocks traded normally. Partially because it's before 7 a.m. It's about to hit 7 a.m. there. Morning, Lee. Good luck, Pablo. So it actually breaks through there. I'm really surprised that it did that. And we're coming up to that next daily level. I think we're extended up here. I think it needs to give us a 1 minute pullback. Low was about 777. Darn, it goes early there. It's going to be a little bit awkward. That is a false break. Dang it, these 1 minute pullbacks just been sucking recently. I don't buy back here because we have this gigantic high volume selling candle and we're still light volume, and then it rips all the way up to 820. And then when we finally get our 1 minute pullback, it does a false breakout. Morning, adversary, Grace. I found volume on the 10-second to be a pretty good, helpful indicator for keeping me out of bad trades. Usually, like increasing buying volume with lighter selling volume, like on any chart for multi-time frame alignment, is a good thing. But I suppose there is that one thing to keep in mind that was mentioned the other day, is that if there's high volume selling and it's still holding certain levels, then that means that there's enough buying support to keep it up. Morning, Eli. Yeah, it's being awkward. So what is it doing up here? Hmm. This is right underneath the 200 moving average. Doesn't have enough volume, LNSR. The false breakouts are kind of insane. Morning, Chimera. Yeah, I suppose I should be paying close attention to support at the same time with the selling volume because the low of 661 was almost exact on this 1 minute chart. It bounced off of the low of the previous candle, then reclaimed 7, which I think was the entry signal. Perhaps adhere to higher time frames for selling volume. Keep in mind the selling volume on the 10-second, but pay attention to that level of support. Because you could kind of call this a 1 minute micro pullback. A little bit of a bigger 1 minute micro pullback, but it's still a 1 minute micro pullback. I honestly thought the penny stocks would be the ones moving this morning, not this one. On the big pop on FGI, you almost pulled the trigger. Yeah, sometimes I look at that when a candle goes from red to green. Especially when it's like a 5 minute close. We get a big surge of volume at 5 minute closes when they close green, close red to green. I mean, given that reminder, well, this broke through the 200 moving average. Second quarter results. Not sure about that. Looks like it's not holding. float on AIRO is too high. Yeah, given the reminder about the 5-minute candle closes, right here on this 1-minute micro pullback was also a 5-minute close. So in hindsight, this probably should have been a buy. Yeah. I used to pay a lot more attention to candle closes. Um, I don't know why I stopped. I still do pay attention to them, but I've been paying attention to them less. It's difficult to stay in the habit of keeping track of everything. This is looking to try and double bottom down here. So ideally, I would like to wait for something either fresh or for it to prove that it can hold up and break back through high of day because I've been getting smoked on these curls recently. Just buying false breakouts over and over. So I see this, potential 5-minute breakout above 8. MACD still negative, but I'm not sure about it. Hmm. Morning, human. Sorry to hear that, human. Yeah, this has been, if you got caught on FGI, this has been choppy up here at the top, unfortunately. Random question, what's my music taste? I don't listen to music that often anymore, but when I do, I listen to usually classic rock. Yeah, I'm on a margin account, Marks. At 5 minutes to 7:30. It's called Charts Watcher, the scanner. No, I don't use any leverage. I'm in Canada, so our leverage rules are a bit different than the US because of the Canadian Investment Regulatory Organization. And I don't use leverage right now because I'm still not a profitable trader, like a provenly, consistently profitable trader. So I shouldn't use it. Not yet. Um, but by US standard, yes, I'm in a margin account, meaning I can take unlimited numbers of trades per day. But Canadians aren't really subject to the PDT rule either. So I could be trading as many times as I want per day in a cash account. It probably wouldn't make any difference. Ooh. So we got 2 minutes to 7:30. This is coming up to try and break 830 once again. MACD's close to crossing. I see a bidder there. I'm going to take a position with a stop of 8. Just a 50 share position to see if we can crawl back up, because I saw a 5,000 share bidder there. Make it like 805. Take some profit up here because we've been having a ton of false breakouts. So I don't want to get caught in a jackknife back down. But I'll add back if we break 863. We'll add back 20 shares. Seems to be a false break, so I'm just going to get out with the rest. It's a small winner. Unfortunately, that add back ended up giving back some of my profits. It kind of just is what it is. But I thought that since we held there and we broke through high of day, I thought that we would have had some short squeeze there. Like even on the 10-second, it looked pretty decent for a fresh entry for the break of high of day. But it was just another kind of false break, unfortunately. Seems that way, yeah. But I kind of felt like it was going to be the perfect storm there to break through and actually get a squeeze because we had MACD just crossing there. It tapped high of day and then held, and then it broke through. But I guess it's hard when the theme is false breaks. It just happens anyways. There's people who are just cautious up at the top here. Too many cautious buyers. Lots of short sellers just waiting to jump on. Like we were also very close to a 5-minute candle close as well. Right? Like this, the end of this candle was a 5-minute close. So if this held up and it closed with a big green candle, then it could have been a candle over candle extension. I'm beating Ross by $6. Well, Ross beat me by $20,000 yesterday. So, but I'll take the win. I'll take the win for today. We'll see how long that lasts, though. Likely to last not very long at all. What's my accuracy? Well, today I have a 100% accuracy. Look at that. But in general, it's been like 45%. I mean, this did a false break and is like, this is kind of a cup and handle pattern here. It's been about 45%, less than 50, more than 40%, over like my entire you know, 200 and whatever trades for the past 5 months. I mean, I can show my trader view again. Um, After this is done moving, I don't know what this is going to do up here. I kind of need to watch it. Hmm. Like, what is this going to do up here? Lots of topping tails. I kind of just don't trust this anymore, honestly. This is more, as Momentum Trader likes to say, it has more topping tails than a dog park. It has more tails than a dog park. Like, I just have no idea what it's going to do up here. Like, we broke that daily level. Do we hold 880? 890? I have the feeling that this is exactly the type of place that Ross likes to buy, and in an instant, we're going to be up like 50 cents a share. And I'm going to be missing the move. Seem to be holding. We'll take a position. Never mind. We closed with a nice big green candle and then we just reversed instantly. I bought for the break of that flat top at 920, this double top. How frustrating. We're holding the 9 EMA very well. Higher volume buying than selling. We break the You know, we candle over candle with a fresh green candle and it reverses. Like you know, like we have room to 980 on the daily. Hmm. Yeah. I think this is becoming a no trade stock now. I mean, yes, it was a little bit extended, but um like at what point do short sellers capitulate, right? When you have this much short selling volume and it eventually holds up over high day like this, you would think that you would have some short seller capitulation. Instead, they just added to the position at 925, and it seems to be working. But if this curls back up and holds up again, like at what point do they cover? Because like short sellers are thinking the same thing, right? Like, oh, this is extended, this can't go up anymore, or whatever. But once it holds up and it continues to move up, when does it pull away? I felt like I was pretty patient on waiting to see if this holds up or not, but what do you do? Suppose I'll just show my trader view metric since I don't want to get reeled into taking another trade on this. Da, 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 da. Since people are asking me again. Over 230 trades, my accuracy is 43% with like a 1.5 to 1 profit to loss ratio. The past 30 days, it's been 44% with kind of the same thing, 1.5 to 1 profit to loss ratio. In the past 60 days, let's say from June to um, beginning of August here. I haven't updated my trader view for this past week, but it's probably 50-50 still. So from June to August, the past couple of months, it's been 40 to 60 with a same thing, but a 1.5 to 1 profit to loss ratio. I generally prefer profit to loss ratio over accuracy because accuracy is something that you can improve over time with experience. It's generally going to be more important to me. So I've been focusing on quality stock selection and, you know, building good habits for setup selection. The problem I have with focusing on accuracy, by the way, is that um, accuracy isn't really a good tell for some people as to whether they're doing good or not. Because if you widen your stops and you take profits too soon, your accuracy can be really high. Like if you widen your stops, sometimes you're kind of having bad habits. You're averaging down, you're having like $50 share sense of risk, and you have a higher accuracy. If someone focuses on accuracy, they're even though, if they don't look at their profit loss ratio, they probably have a low profit loss ratio because they're taking profits too soon and they're taking big losers. But accuracy is something that increases with time and whatever strategy you're using. But there are people who have a 50% or 40% accuracy and they have a very high profit to loss ratio. That's how they make money. And there are some people who have very high accuracy, but maybe like a 1-to-1 profit to loss ratio. And that's how they make money. I think that Ross actually, when you look at his statistics more recently, he's been having a higher accuracy, but like just above a 1-to-1 profit to loss ratio. Like he hasn't been having 2-to-1 profit to loss ratio as much anymore because he's trading bigger size, he gets more slippage, and he seems to let his losers run a little bit longer for that higher accuracy when he really believes in a stock. But he still knows when to cut it most of the time. You're learning to accept that you missed the move. Yeah, it was one of the things for me that I had to accept. ROLR popping up. This one's a previous big mover. It likes to move whenever it pops up. It gets enough volume. Doesn't have enough volume. So this has been grinding back up, but it's on the back side. Like this is a bounce off the low, it looks like to me. No FAL. Gonna be a lot of bag holders on the way up. Do 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 do. Hopefully we get something at 8 a.m. Yeah, I guess so, huh? Well, ROLR, there were at least two times that I remember. There were two or three times that I remember where ROLR made like huge moves during pre-market. Yeah, I guess way back here in April. And yeah, way back here in January. Those are both huge moves. And there was another time here back in May. We got 5 minutes to 8 a.m. I'm not interested in trading full fall. And FGI ended up chopping me out. I wonder, did Ross take any trades? It's 7:56. My clock is on the screen. 7:56. Ross no trades. So he didn't end up taking that trade on FGI. That's surprising. You know what? I bet you I know why. Let me look at this. Is this sending resistance? Where did I get in here? Well, that ascending resistance just formed. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Maybe from back here. Yeah, that's potential ascending resistance. I bet you he saw this when I didn't. Usually it's something like that, right? Like it has some sort of ascending resistance that I need to pay attention to that I just forget about, and then I enter right at ascending resistance. Not to say that I couldn't break ascending resistance, but yeah, that's probably why he didn't. I'm gonna watch his recap later, and if he says something about ascending resistance, then I'll know that that second trade was just a mistake. You can see the blue line on both the daily chart and the 1 minute chart. Which blue line? I have multiple blue lines. The squiggly one that's kind of going under or over the candles is called an exponential moving average. I have it on the daily and the other charts here. Exponential moving average is basically just a moving average of price within a certain period of time, weighted for the most recent price action. And it's just a level of support or resistance that a lot of traders use. Right? We have the 9, the 20, and the 200. So the blue is the 9. So it weights the 9 previous candles on that time frame. And then we have the 20, which is 20 previous candles, and then the 200, which is the 200 previous candles. On the daily, it measures candles in terms of like the daily candles, and then the 5 minute, it measures in terms of 5 minute candles, and then 1 minute candles, and so forth. We're talking about the horizontal blue lines. Those are just levels of support or resistance. So support or resistance is just a likely level that buyers or sellers are going to be stationed at. So I'm watching 8 a.m. news. See if we get anything. Eight 63, 848, and 821. There are previous potential levels of resistance as the stock was moving up. So for example, 826 is attempting to connect some of the topping tails on this line, but it also is a level of daily resistance. So 826 was like around the top of this daily candle, for example. So it was like somewhere in between the daily candle and all these topping tails. This next one was the high of this past candle here, which connects this candle. So usually when we're looking at levels of support or resistance, we want to be connecting like as many points as possible on like the top of or bottom of like certain price action, the wicks or the candles, to determine our levels of support or resistance. So that's just what this is doing, because the top of the candles or the bottom of the candles indicate where there might be buyers or sellers stationed at, since it, you know, bumped up against that level and then failed to break. So that's what those are for. I draw them manually, the horizontal ones. The indicators are the ones that are the squiggly ones on the screen. Those are drawn automatically. So on this chart, 9 EMA is drawn automatically, for example. The horizontal ones I draw. So for example, price just bumped against 611 up here. I could say that this is now our high of day. There could potentially be a level of resistance up at 611. If later on price comes back up and retests this level and fails, then we know that's a proven level of resistance. If we look at the daily chart, we might be able to verify on the daily chart whether it's a level of resistance. I don't see anything in particular other than the 9 EMA is around this level. He is trying to bump through the 9 EMA. And we have the 200 EMA up at 663. So because price is below these levels, as we're coming up to them, they're levels of resistance. You know, after hours, we have this candle, the 620 level. YXT popping. Financial results news. We're in a big window. We hold 7. Big seller there. Yeah, no problem. Seems like there's a lot of selling volume up here. I don't normally like financial results news. Like, what is the financial results? Unaudited results. How many percent gross margin? It seems like we pulled really far back from the highs here. Yeah, what happened to the market that we had last week where it was giving us nice clean moves? Like the beginning of last week and the week before, like after Friday, it's just been disgusting. Solar eclipse. I'm sure there's some that are. There are some traders who, if you watch some of the futures traders, kind of reminds me of the people in the casinos who are like waving their screens They're like rubbing their screens to make the price go up. Maybe I need to start doing that. Blow them upward. Yeah. Yeah, that's a definite not do core. I've been there. I ain't going back. You got a magic 8 ball momentum trader? Where do I get a magic 8 ball from? I gotta order one. I remember one time there was a biotech stock that came out that had fantastic news, or so I thought. Biotech stocks usually move pretty well when they have good news. It was like a clinical trial or something. Clinical trial news that said had like good results for X thing. I don't remember exactly what it was. And I jumped on it as it was moving up like 100%, 200%. And then it pulled back to VWAP. And I thought that there's no way this thing doesn't continue going higher. And then I added a VWAP. And then it broke down VWAP. And then it made a full round trip before I finally sold. And that was the day that I'm like, I am never holding ever again. Because I have no idea what the stock is going to do. If I can't predict what's going to happen based off of like clinical trial news on a biotech stock after it just moved up like 150%, 200%, then no way I'm going to be able to confidently say that I'm not going to get smoked again if I ever do that. I had to learn my lesson. Your daughter got it free for Father's Day? Well, that certainly would be a lucky 8 ball then. I have a lucky Squidward painting on my wall, right up there behind the monitors. Bold, bold, and brash. Morning, Jaden. I mean, I see FGI like trying to curl up, but am I just going to continue to get chopped out if I trade this? Probably. Is this an ABCD pattern? I would say no because like the breakout already happened. Like you have a bull flag pattern here and the extension candle already happened and it rejected. So this is a like a rejected bull flag pattern. It would be an ABCD pattern if it popped up, failed to break the highs, came back down, held the lows, and then came back up again for a second retest of the highs. Or if it came up part of the way, maybe not touch the highs, but it came up part of the way and then continued pulling back, held the lows, and then broke through the highs or made an attempt to break through the highs. But because the breakout already happened and it flushed back down, it's not an ABCD pattern. Oh, 7:56 to 8:09 a.m. Sorry, let me re-answer your question then. $7.56 to 8:09. Are you talking about this bounce off of VWAP? I mean, this is kind of an extended ABCD pattern, right? But MACD is still negative on it. It did cross positive. I mean, this would be more of like a kind of a reversal pattern for me. Like it is an ABCD pattern, yes. Sometimes certain patterns have overlap, but this would be more of a reversal. Like we bottomed out in VWAP and made a higher low, a higher high, and a higher low, and a higher high. So you could call it an extended ABCD, sort of. All right, have a good one, Corey. Good job cutting it. Do I trade this? Like the high is at 935. Now it's at 941. Someone or momentum trader told me to stay out on the third candle. So this is the third 1 minute green 1 minute candle. Oh, that's for penny stocks only? Whoops. Oopsie. I'm not sure what to do with this stock. It's breaking the highs now. So do I trade it or do I not trade it? That's the question. Like, do we hold 950 or 940? Hmm. So it's kind of forming an ABCD pattern with even lighter volume selling. Do we hold 940? I see a 5,000 share bidder there. 6,000 share bidder at 935. Drops down. And 60 and 65. We have like a kind of a gravestone on the 5 minute. Ross still no trades. That's interesting. Is there a case to leave stocks alone when they're choppy like this and only buy on pullbacks during breakout? Well, I think that's what Ross usually does. Like Ross has no trades. Usually when a stock does something, it's going to do it over and over again. Like if a stock has a history of um, jackknifing, like it's highly likely that it'll just do it over and over again. So you could argue that there's a case for just leaving those stocks alone. Um, but you could also make a case that there is a point where if a stock continues holding up even after rejecting so many times, that short sellers are going to capitulate. So I think that I stand probably somewhere in between. Sometimes I will leave them alone completely if they're really, really choppy, and other times I'll trade with smaller size and just be more cautious. What's up, Monero? The EDBL is popping up a little bit, but pretty sure like this is on the backside of a sell-off. Like it moved on the 27th of July and then on the 3rd of August. So this has kind of got a history of popping and dropping now. Yeah, no problem. I'm sick of EDBL. 7 million shares June 30th. 10 million shares July 8th. 34 million shares July 27th. 23 million shares August. I think this is just going to be really choppy. I'm good. I'm sick of EDBL. Other people probably sick of it too. Same headline every time too. You ever seen that SpongeBob episode where he rips his pants? The joke has been played out. We uh, we don't need any more EDBL Walmart headlines. I think it's over. I think everyone's got their laugh. Have a good one, human. I'm hoping that we get something else because I really don't want to end the day on another red day, even though it's only a $9 red day. Kind of shitty. I don't remember if EDBL got me some good stakes. I think I missed my trade on EDBL, if I remember correctly. Oh man. So 8:30 come and gone, and we don't really have anything interesting. So is this gonna be the only thing that's moving today? This dumb stock? It is kind of unfortunate because if I didn't add up here at 872 on my first trade, then I would still be green on the day, even with this trade. It would have been like 40 cents probably, the profit. But you never know what the stock's going to do. I thought I was going to pull away, it didn't pull away. It is what it is. Same with the second trade. I mean, both trades I thought were decent trades. They just didn't work. You saw 30K, almost 30K seller on EDBL. Yeah, there's probably a lot of big sellers on it, a lot of bag holders. Nasty stuff. XHG moving? Wow. You see, this is why I don't short sell. That's insanity. You got $1,000 on 100 shares? Wow. Awesome. Yikes. So this starts at $1, right? This starts at $1.12 per share. Imagine you short like around here, $1.25. You short at the high of day again, like you average up at $1.70, and then it just goes up to $20 in an instant, and your margin called up here. That is a good example of why I don't short sell. No, Ross didn't get in on that. How much was I willing to risk when I lost the $15 on FGI? Well, on an $8 stock, I'm usually risking about 20 cents. So ideally, I would lose about 10 bucks. My maximum risk per trade is $40. So $15 is acceptable. It's a little bit more than I would aim for, but it's acceptable. Yeah, I didn't get in on this because it says on my charts watcher that it's a 46 million share float. How did I catch that move? It's moving up on my leading gainers, and it's moving on the high of day momentum as well. XHG. But I saw it moving up on my leading gainers. Wow, this is still moving. It's nasty. Like I generally don't know what to do when you have these gigantic topping tails like this after a big move like that. Like, is it correct to just jump in on it and just pile in like everyone else? Or do I wait for a pullback like I'm supposed to? I mean, right here, this pullback was preceded by a giant topping tail. I don't know. This is up 400%. Yeah, like what's up with this float and stuff and how it's moving? Like it's very odd. Not really sure how to treat this. The low of that pullback is 445. Like we kind of have a bull flag pattern here on the 1 minute. High is 6. I'm not sure what's gonna happen though. We'll take a position. Stop is gonna be 550. Taking some profit. Take some more profit. That's a big seller. I see a big 25,000 share seller. So I'm glad I caught that. I saw it break after that rejection. It broke that 550 level. So I just decided that, you know what, this is probably going to go. But I see a big seller up there. That's why I jumped out at around 720. Big 25,000 share seller at 750. Yeah, that's awesome that you got that big pop though, the Fisk. Sometimes you never know. Sometimes you get a big windfall that makes your whole month. That the 25,000 share seller was Ross selling? Was it? How many shares did he buy? I feel like we're really extended up here. Like the 9 EMA on the 5 minute is all the way down at $3. Like we're up double over the 9 EMA right now, almost. Ross usually doesn't leave his orders on the ask either. Yeah, he hides it and he like he scales out in blocks. Like he doesn't leave a giant 25,000 share order on the ask in a big block because that would be very bear like a bearer signal. He usually scales out in like smaller blocks. Oh, it didn't fill? Sorry to hear that, Slava. Yeah, don't get FOMO on that if you can. I've kind of been in the same similar situation. I remember there was a stock in an after hours move. I don't remember which one it was, but it was when the after hours move was happening. Like there was a period of time where after hours was like the theme for a little while, and the stock went like all the way up to $50 or 40 or $50 from like $8. And I sold too early on it. It sucks. But there's always more opportunities in the future. Have a good one, Drews. We don't know when the next blue sky or big pop is. But as long as we're here every day, we'll eventually catch one. So the high back here was 751. Hmm. Seems like this might be more accurate right there. I'm sorry to hear that, Ahmed. Yeah, sometimes the biggest moves come with the biggest losses because we feel that FOMO and our rational thinking just doesn't work. When we see a move up to $18 like that, and we don't want to miss out on it, and that's that's what happens sometimes. Some of my biggest losers are on trades where I just missed a big move, big 200%, 300% move, and I jump in after the move's already done. That FOMO gets you. So I see FGI curling back up again. I wonder if there's going to be FOMO. Kind of some sympathy momentum on this. Kind of hard for me to trust FGI now with all the choppiness previously. High is 970. But after a big move, like, is something going to change? Are there going to be a lot of traders jumping on with FOMO? All right, have a good one, Fisk. Yeah, I'm watching XHG. I'm just letting it pull back because it's really extended. We got a nice trade on it, but I don't think that there's a trade for it right here while MACD's negative. It's got to curl back up. Needs some time. FGI is the one that's kind of moving closer to high of day right now, so this is just consolidating now. FGI, it's not really doing anything. We flipped from red to green there on that trade. So we found a good entry on that bull flag pattern, putting us green on the week so far, so not bad. Well, somebody got margin called. But we don't know, and we probably will never know what the exact reason for that sort of spike is. But Ross mentioned in his recap the other day, because there was like a pop like this recently on another penny stock, that when it reaches over $1, like there's probably somebody that was shorting it around $1 as it popped up, or maybe like $1.25, $1.50 with big share size. And sometimes when it just continues to hold up, then eventually they get margin call, and it's like a chain of covers. So there are probably a lot of short sellers who got absolutely smoked on this. 1.4 million shares of volume. I don't know if it was because of the float. I mean, I doubt it, but yeah, SCKT. You're right. Yeah, that one did the exact same thing that this one did, except this one was a lot more extreme. I think SCKT was from like $1 to $6. This one was $1 all the way up to 18. It's just a chain of margin calls. Oh, you got skipped, Grace? Yeah. I had a bad habit of doing that too for a while. When I would miss a fill, I would like FOMO in and enter higher, and that got me smoked a couple of times in some of my past VODs on live stream. I eventually had to like tell myself I got to take my hands off the keyboard. If my order gets skipped, hands just come off the keyboard. That's what I do now. Or I try to do. I probably will still end up FOMOing into something someday. I don't think that habit's completely gone, but my P&L is USD. I don't even think there is a way to change it to Canadian dollars, is there? Pretty sure it's default USD. Is there somewhere I could check that? Does anyone know on Trade Zero? Pretty sure it's USD by default. Because my account size is also in USD. Like when I go to my account details, it's also in USD. So I'm pretty sure it's in USD. Yeah, I don't know what's up, Bullseye. We suddenly turned on a heel on Friday. We had some good clean moves for the previous 2 weeks, and then uh, Friday and until today has just been pop and drop city. But, I mean, this is up 57%, but it's a Canadian aerospace company. Their news is third quarter fiscal results. Yes, there are some people jumping on this because it's another penny, but I still think it's got to be the right penny to jump on. I don't think that this is gonna be the next one. High volume selling on the 1 minute. Ross and XHG. Ross traded XHG earlier, yeah. He bought for the curl, I think. An XHG. So what was this candle? I'm curious. This went up over 1,000% in a single candle. 1,300% in a single candle. That's insanity. Well, I think my running up scanners and Hive Day Momo scanners, they filter out for anything that is above 40 million shares, like a 40 million share float. That's why it didn't appear on my 5 pillars Hive Day Momo or running up scanner, because it says it's a 46 million share float, but it's not actually a 46 million share float. I pulled it up when I saw it moving up on my leading gainer scanner because it was moving quickly. And that is one thing that I will say about Charts Watcher that I've noticed is that um, it's been somewhat more frequent. Like if I look at Day Trade Dash, what does it say there? No, Day Trade Dash is the same. Day Trade Dash also says that the float is 46 million. So I don't know if it's Charts Watcher's fault or not, but I've been seeing a lot of like misnamed floats recently. A bunch of different stocks for some reason. I don't know why that is. Easy says 15 million. Yeah, that's kind of the challenge, I suppose. Depending what platform you're on, it might show you a different float. Like, what does TradingView say? TradingView also says 46 million share float. 1.5 million? My Trade Zero says 46 million. Yeah, I have my scanners the same way. It's anything over 40 million doesn't show, but if this keeps happening where we have stocks that are telling me that it's a higher float than it actually is, then I'll probably also have to change my scanners to maybe be more than 50 million or something. So I can still pull it up and check to see what the price action looks like. Because what matters more than the float is what the actual price action is telling us. If it says that it's a 100 million share float, but it's trading like a sub 1 million share float stock, then it doesn't matter what the float is because it's not being traded like that. There's clearly something wrong with the information. Because there's more demand than supply. That's kind of the stance that I've taken regarding float. The only thing to keep in mind is that sometimes higher floats are easy to borrow more frequently. So MACD's negative on this. I see Ross is in this trade. I have his thing pulled up on the side for for right now. I don't know why he's in this trade though. Because MACD's still negative. He said it's because of descending resistance. Interesting. Uh-oh. Ross is bag holding. Um, that's what he said. Yeah, he got in for the break of descending resistance. I suppose on this candle right here. But MACD's still negative, so there's no trade on it for me. I don't see any patterns here for me. So I do not take the trades. MACD's negative. Like he seems to have some faith that this is gonna crawl back up and work. His cost base is a 650 and he held all the way down to 550 here. Like 560. He's got 16,000 shares. I don't know. Technical analysis goes out the window. Yeah, kind of what it feels like. $17 to market open. So did this stock close below 70 cents previous day? No. So this would be fine for the halt bands then, I think, right? Because it closed at 90 cents. So the halt bands would be fine to trade it at the open. But yeah, I have no idea what this is going to do at the open. It's up 570% right now. $6.91 is a bit of a pivot now. If it comes back up and breaks $7, 691.7. Oh, you missed all of XHG, Santa? You didn't see? Look at this move. This was in an instant, so nobody could really capture this unless they were already in. But it popped from $1.40 all the way up to $18 in an instant, and it came all the way back down. It was like a single 10-second candle. Yeah, this is the 10-second chart here. It happened in an instant. Popped to 18, came all the way back down. I didn't trade this though. I traded later on. So it curled up, held up, and I traded this area of consolidation here on this bull flag pattern. It popped up, kind of did a false breakout, continued holding, and then I bought for first candle to make a new high as it broke back up that pivot at 550. Popped all the way up to 750. It's a nice trade, but this is pretty crazy price action. Yeah, that puts us up on the week. I'd probably only up like $30 on the week though, because yesterday I think was a $39 red day, right? And I only earned a little bit more than I lost on Monday. I think I lost like $16 on Monday, made 26 on Tuesday. So minus 29 probably a week since yesterday. And today is 84. So maybe I'm up 50 bucks or something. DFSC is continuing to grind higher. I'm surprised that this is continuing to move. No, Ross took a loss on it. He took like a $7,000 loss on XHG. But he was still up overall. I think he was still green 13,000 bucks. He just shaved a little bit off the top of his profits. That ended up being a nice 1 minute micro pullback. I honestly wasn't even watching this because of, Canadian aerospace with just fiscal results. I honestly didn't think that this would get any attention because it dropped back down, it popped up, and then it failed. And it did a false breakout, and I didn't think that it would roll back up. So I probably should have been watching this, but if I was watching this, then I probably would have taken this 1 minute micro pullback right there. On the 10-second, it looks pretty clean. It does a ABCD pattern holding the 9 EMA and that low, 209. And it pops up 40 cents. So that would have been a good add to my winning day, honestly. It was a mistake not to watch it. I'm going to add that to the missed opportunities list. I was partially also contemplating whether or not to just get off for the day because I do have some work to do. So I wasn't really paying attention to very much here. I was watching HXG. And right here, it's probably going to be extended now. But we're going to add that to the missed opportunities. Missed DFSC. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a day. I have to get to work today. Just checking my emails on the side. So we had that nice trade that flipped us from red to green. I'm happy with that. I don't need to push my luck at the open anyways. I have no idea what this is gonna do at the open. Because this isn't, as Momentum Trader said, I don't know if this is really a stock that you can analyze with technical analysis anymore. Maybe if it breaks through 750, it can continue higher, but it's already up 500%. And it's going to be halting around at the open. So, I mean, I wish I could stay around longer, more of the time, and eventually I will when I don't have to work. But, you know, it kind of is what it is for right now. I might take some vacation soon, maybe in September if I can, to trade a little bit more frequently at the open. But we'll see. Ending with an $84 Green Day, fantastic. Um, but still not really happy with my performance on the week so far. Yesterday I missed the big money trade after getting in on the backside of the move twice, and then I missed the actual pop the other day, and then I missed a big move on SCKT. I missed the curl on that after that big pop. So still missing opportunities, still got to get better at that. And then and then the other day I did miss the penny stock moves as well on the front side when I was hesitating because they were penny stocks. But I should probably get rid of my prejudice on them a little bit if they're moving nicely. But yeah, have a good one, Momentum Trader. Have a good one, Kingmin, Ronald, Pegpad, and Chimera. Shutting it down. Take care, stay green, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Friday. See how we end the week here. Peace.